If you ever walked into a store and thought, this doesn't match what the brand is saying, this episode is for you. Today, I'm in Toronto and I'm joined by Liza Amlani, also known as the Chief Merchant. She's the principal of Retail Strategy Group and a former head of buying at Ralph Lauren. Today, she works with global brands to fix the gap between strategy and execution. And in her book, The Material Life, she argues that the real problem in retail isn't what you sell, it's how you build it. In this episode, we will explore what really connects the strategy to the store floor and how great retailers actually get it right. Here's Paula Macaggi, and this is episode 111 of my show. Welcome to OFFBounds. Liza, thanks for joining me in our studio in Toronto. So happy to be in Toronto.
I'm so excited that you're in Toronto and that you've already been to some stores.
Yeah,
it's the best part.
Actually. Do you like my sweatshirt?
I love your sweatshirt and I might need one.
I bought it in a store called Province of Canada.
Okay.
And it's beautiful. They have a lot of Canadian proud stuff. Now I can look Canadian everywhere.
There you go. See, it's perfect for airports.
Absolutely. Everybody's happy to be Canadian. There was even one that was saying, I'm Canadian before it was cool.
Oh, no way.
Before it became cool.
Oh, I love that.
Let's talk about retail then.
Oh, it's my favorite subject.
I know. So you spent 20 years in retail and you started on the shop floor.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes. Probably started on the shop floor in my early teens, and it was, I'm sure, illegal. But I loved spending time in the malls. I was always in stores. Every job I had, probably, I was in the store. And after I graduated from uni, I worked on the shop floor at Harrods. I worked with Ralph Lauren and absolutely loved it. That's where I learned clienteling and just the art of talking to the customer, capturing insights from the customer. Now we call them insights. Back then, I don't know what we were calling it. You know, their size, what they wanted. Yeah, exactly. And I took that as a foundation across my entire career.
Did you notice then, when you were in the shop floor, there was a little bit of a disconnect between the corporate and the floor?
Oh, yes. Very noticeable. And I think from just a product perspective, as I took on these roles as a merchant, as a product designer, product developer, what I started to see was that the functions that I was working with, so I would work with design, I'd work with sourcing, I'd work with marketing, we were all pretty disconnected. And that disconnect and that dysfunction definitely showed up on the shop floor, whether it was items that were priced incorrectly or that didn't match one store with another, or didn't match the POS system. I mean, I have many, many examples. I know we're going to talk about one in particular, so I'll wait till you prompt me. But definitely, I have seen a lot of disconnects from what happens in corporate and what's actually happening on the shop floor.
Yeah, but there's something wrong. I think we all can see. We just don't know what it is yet, right? Like as consumers, we're like, wait, why is this empty? Or something like that, right?
Or something just doesn't feel right. I've been hearing a lot of stories around pricing being reticketed, like on tags, and how the customer's like, wait, what does this actually mean? Is it to do with tariffs? Like when you're walking the shop floor, you see that. You see other people that are not in retail that are just like questioning.
And I think like nowadays you'll even have the social media thing. They're like, look at this, how bad it is. Like you can see the old price.
Oh, yeah.
Like they act like it's a sales, but it's more expensive than before or something like that.
Exactly.
So it's even worse now because
it is.
The word gets out very quickly and it's generalized. Yeah,
it absolutely does. I also see it with signage. Signage that's left over, for example, from an event, or just signage on top of a fixture and then the wrong product underneath. So it's something that we can easily see, and that comes from corporate.
So you were in merchandising, right?
I was.
Explain, like if this is the first time I have someone in merchandising on the show, explain exactly how your role is. And there's a jumpsuit story that I'd like to know too.
Yes, I can't wait to tell you that story. So as a merchant, I worked in different types of organizations, decentralized merchandising models where you have the buying team on the ground in a particular region. And I've also worked as a merchant within a department store, so a department store buyer. So I've kind of seen both sides, really all sides of a merchant role. This moment where I really saw dysfunction and disconnect from strategy to execution. And I'll tell you, I'm going to take you back, okay? It was in 2017, and jumpsuits were all the rage. And when I'm talking jumpsuits, I'm talking about full length, really gorgeous, solids, printed. I mean, anything you can think of, we were buying into that style. And I was working at Ralph Lauren at the time. And I was based in London, so I was the head of buying for the Lauren brand. And the Lauren brand, if you don't know, is actually a wholesale brand. And we would buy it for shop-in-shops within department stores. We were so excited about these jumpsuits that during the seasonal training, so this is before the product is actually shipped, we have everyone from the different stores across regions, across countries, coming to seasonal training. We teach them about the assortment. We teach them how to style it. We help them to pick their uniforms. So basically they would pick maybe like 5 or 6 styles, and those are the things that they would wear. The jumpsuits were part of this, okay? Fast forward a couple of months, it's fall deliveries are dropping, and we've bought these jumpsuits for every single delivery, every single color, every single print. And Monday comes around, I look at sales, I look at the EDI transmissions coming in from all these stores, and I see that no jumpsuits have sold. Like, okay, maybe, people are getting used to it, right? Tuesday comes
maybe
around.
Maybe you're not marketing it correctly.
Maybe, I don't know, right? So Tuesday comes around, no sales. Wednesday, no sales. I'm like losing my mind. So I start calling stores and visiting stores. So at this point, I was based in London, and my 2 major accounts had flagship stores on Oxford Street, House of Fraser and John Lewis, basically across from each other. And they were our biggest shop-in-shops. So I take my buying assistant, I take my salesperson, and we go to the store. And we're like, where are these jumpsuits? We cannot find them. They're not there. We take the sales reps, the managers of the floor, and we're like, we need to find these. Like, we're showing they are delivered. We have talked to the distribution center. I mean, when I say that I rallied everyone, we were just like all over that shop floor.
Like, I know it was delivered.
Yeah. Like, is it sitting at Calvin Klein? Is it sitting with Hugo Boss product? I mean, we were losing it, okay? We found the jumpsuits. They were hidden in the stockroom. And the reason they were hidden in the stockroom was because the shop-in-shop fixture didn't have a fixture that was tall enough to hang the jumpsuits. So they just put them away. And that was a major disconnect in strategy and execution.
Wow, that's a great example. And I'm so happy.
I'm
so
getting
sorry
PTSD.
that it happened to you. Did you fix that after that?
So we did. And like many processes, it was a Band-Aid solution. We had a fixture that was not part of the Ralph Lauren, we call it CapEx. And we had to basically source them very, very quickly and get them onto every single store. And I had 150 stores, I think, at that time, in different countries. So it's not just a one-off,
Is
right?
that shipping to their corner store?
Yes. This scenario actually happened again with dresses. And then we finally started to see, okay, you know what? We need to fix something here. There's something fundamentally wrong in our process.
Great.
Talk about that later.
I'm happy. I'm happy that things got solved eventually. But there are a lot of other dysfunctions that we see on a daily basis, right? Like, I think there's a famous case here in Canada. There was the Hudson's Bay.
Oh, yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is Hudson's Bay and what was the dysfunction that happened and what happened to them?
This is such a good question. And I will tell you that any single person you ask, from a customer, their grandmother, their kids, they will all have stories about Hudson's Bay, a very iconic Canadian department store. And the dysfunction that started to show up in HBC in the Bay, and I visit stores like weekly. What I started to see was there were no salespeople on the shop floor. And these are big department stores, huge, huge stores. Started to see marketing signage from events that were a couple of weeks ago. They were still on the, like in the beauty area.
We're like, oh, interesting event. Oh, it was last week.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Started to see a lot of stockouts. So when you have a department store and so much space, and you start to see real huge pockets of product missing from a shop fit, that is alarming. And then you have no salespeople to help you figure out, okay, is the product just not on the shop floor? Or is there something bigger happening? And this dysfunction impacts the customer and, of course, the sales staff, right? Imagine being one person on an entire floor. You're running around, you're frustrated. I mean, it's a terrible environment to work in. So HBC, I mean, we've all heard of Saks Global and the challenges happening around Saks Global. The same thing happened with HBC.
But I think like once it gets to this point where you walk into a store and it already feels wrong, it has to have been going wrong for a while.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Like the problem is started way before it feels...
Years. And I think many of us in Canada started to see that real downfall of this department store. You know, every time I'd go in, one escalator wouldn't be working. Some doors would be closed off because there was no security to man them. And as we got closer to the announcement of bankruptcy, it all started to come together. We're like, oh,
yeah, well, makes sense.
Nobody cares, right? And you can see it. But when you went to trade appointments and market appointments, you'd still see the buyers buying product. Same thing happened at Saks, right? I think there's a common thread here.
Yeah. Are we seeing something next happening? A argue that we have.
I'm not sure. I think when corporate teams don't walk the shop floor, they don't really put themselves in the customer's shoes. They can't see the impact of the decisions that they're making in their ivory tower. And it's very difficult for them to connect what the decisions that they're making, how they're impacting the front line, how they're impacting the customer, and what the cause is of eroded sales and margin.
Yeah, absolutely. So it should take like only one visit at least to notice how that's being reflected.
Yes, definitely. It took just a lot of people complaining about HBC, complaining on the news. I mean, I was on the news talking about the Bay all the time, but there was never any love given to that store. And that's really sad.
It feels like they gave up, right? Like
they gave up a long time ago. Yes. It doesn't happen overnight, right?
Yeah. So I went to another Canadian store. I haven't had a chance to go to Hudson's Bay, but...
well, it's closed.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll see it's all boarded up.
Won't have it. But I did go to Simon's.
I'll send you some videos.
Thank you. From when it was good.
From when it was good, yes. Yeah. Way back.
So I went to Simon's today.
Okay.
This is where I bought this at Simon's. I like to reward the stores with my money.
Yes.
Most of us. That's a problem of doing retail safaris.
I know, right?
I get too excited about the products I see.
You want to buy everything.
I like this. Nobody ever saw me with this because I never worn it. But I found it interesting. It felt really good. But there's always room for improvement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why don't you talk about them?
So I'm a huge fan of Simon's. I went to the store opening at the Eaton Center. The store you went to, right?
Yes, yeah.
Downtown?
I was taken there, so I don't necessarily know.
I'm a big fan of the store. I'm a big fan of the concept. I love the fact that we have such an investment in Canadian private label. I think that when you walk into Simon's, it's exciting because they have localized things like their store design. They use local artists in all of their stores. And to me, that is very important. Their sales staff are amazing. They're not perfect. I think that there is some room for improvement. Their shop-in-shops are great. But when they're buying deep into categories like sweaters, like coats, what you'll see is the fixtures are bursting. The last time I was in Simon's, they had cubby holes to visually merchandise the sweaters assortment. And it was a mess. Because imagine you have piles of sweaters and cubby holes. Like, I mean, even When you think about your closet, you don't want to do that. It doesn't make any sense. You have racks of coats and they are bursting. And that is very hard for the customer to shop and to find what they're looking for. You'll also see this incredible range of opening price point product to luxury in that store, which I absolutely love.
Mm-hmm.
But there
like
isn't...
they start for everyone.
Yeah, they have Boss, they have Comme des Garçons. I think they have Rick Owens now. I mean, there is this beautiful selection of product. But when you're not merchandising it in a way that it elevates that product, like if you have luxury in that store and you have t-shirts that are $10 as well, they're all merchandised in the same way. Same sort of signage, same racks.
And that's definitely something that when somebody was buying it, they didn't imagine it would be put in the store in the same way.
Exactly.
Where does this disconnect happen?
Oh, it definitely happens at corporate, that they're not walking the shop floor. They don't understand the customer journey. They're not putting themselves in the customer's shoes. And that is something that is so critical. Even when I was an assistant buyer, I would spend time in my stores, go to as many stores as possible, try the product on. How is it merchandised? Are you able to shop it? Can you create outfits? Does the salesperson know what that product is about? Are they product obsessed? All of those things made me a great merchant, and it made my stores sell at full price. And it was delightful for the customer. That's what you want as a merchant, right? And when you get disappointed as a merchant and a customer, when you're walking that shop floor, it's like, like it just makes me crazy, because it's such a simple thing to, I don't want to say fix, but it's a simple thing to connect that head office needs to go to the store, but yet it's so complex that it's not happening.
Yeah,
like there's something that doesn't make sense.
We had some examples of leaders that came here that, according to them, they go every Friday. Like every Friday is my store day. Every Friday I go to a different store.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important by what you're saying. Like you can really see if what you're doing at the corporate level is reflecting the store, right?
Yeah, of course.
And even if you talk to your associates, they'll tell you what is working, what is not.
They are a gold mine of insights. They are the ones that are front facing. They're capturing returns data, for example, that's not being standardized and sent back to a product team. You know, they are a gold mine of information. And I don't think we give them enough credit.
That's true. That's true. They are actually the revenue generators of the business. Yeah.
Yes.
They're great, but you can sell if you don't have a great product too, right? But I think like every retailer has these problems that reflect in stores, right? Like not everybody is immune to that. I think like even if you think of Sephora's.
Yes.
Sometimes you're attracted to a product and you go to the store and it's just, what?
Exactly. I mean, I was in Sephora on the weekend, and like many of us, you know, we frequent
this
is a lot,
Disneyland.
Right? Exactly. It is totally Disneyland. And I went in to get black eyeliner. And that to me is a basic core product, part of any seasonal assortment. And I really like the Sephora collection. I like their own brand. So I went to the kiosk and fixture that had the Sephora collection, and in the marketing on the back of the fixture, it also had ads for the eyeliner. Okay, it's retractable, it's waterproof, all the things, right? So I go to pick it up myself, and there are none. In fact, there are no core colors in the fixture at all. And I asked a salesperson, and I was like, you know, are these in a drawer? Like, this is like your core product. This is seasonless. And they're like, oh, we haven't had it in weeks. To me, that is such a miss.
I mean, every woman that is listening to us now will be like, what?
It doesn't make sense, right? It's something that we know as a brand, as a retailer, that your core seasonless product should always be in stock, or at least be triggered at a certain point for automatic replenishment, right? There should be no excuse. There's no excuse for that.
Yeah, and you've been in retail for many years and you've seen it all. If this happens, where does it happen? Like you say like it's in the corporate level, but there must be something like, is it talent? Is it supply chain? where the disconnection is coming from? It's coming from the top, like the silos. What is happening at the corporate level that you see in your clients, and how to fix that?
Such a big question, right? But
Yeah.
I think there's a very simple answer. It is about innovating your concept to market process. So when we think about the concept to market process, it's going from seasonal strategy all the way to market. If you're in wholesale, your market is your selling period, all the way to store. So that process has particular cross-functional teams that are working towards getting that product from an idea to an actual product in the store. And what typically happens, and I mean, this is not a new concept around culture and silos. Peter Drucker talks about it. This is a problem that happens across every single industry. And the challenge with many teams is that they are working in these silos. So if you think of a rowing team, they're all rowing in different directions, but they're rowing towards their own goals. So they're actually not going anywhere, right? And what happens is that you lose collaboration. Some teams become service providers within an organization. You'll hear that merchants are like at top of the food chain and everyone else is underneath. That is not a great way to build a collaborative culture. And it is a culture problem more than anything else.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of the organization problems is like every department apparently has a different KPI that they have to reach. And I feel like most of them should have the same KPI, right? But they're just like, oh yeah, I don't wanna do this because I'm gonna be distant from my KPI and I only have time to do this. So it's also like how you structured the mission and the goal of how every team is gonna work.
Exactly. And I think again that comes down to culture, and where we see that change happen is when we start innovating the process. So that process of concept to market, it's very linear, it's very rigid, right? But when you have, and there's so many great examples of this, we actually talk about it in the book. I know we're going to talk about it a little bit. The role of, for example, the chief product officer. And the reason the chief product officer exists is because they take merchandising, design, sourcing, and they bring them all together with that merchant lens of how will that product assortment as a whole resonate on that shop floor in front of the customer.
So it's kind of like you have one person that owns this connection.
Exactly. So back to the rowing example, which I love to give. When you have a coxswain at the head telling the rowers which direction to row in and guiding them, you're actually moving forward. That's the difference of having a leader that has great insight into every cross-functional team and what they're doing. Another example is Fran from Abercrombie, Fran Leibowitz, right? She's an excellent example. She is an amazing merchant. And what she did when she first got to Abercrombie was she saw that all the teams were disconnected across different campuses. Her first order was bring all these teams in the same room. And that's what she did. So it eliminated those silos physically, right? And fundamentally.
Yeah, that's very, and that reflected in the success that Abercrombie is today.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm a big fan of her.
Me too. And she's always on the shop floor. And she's in, she visits factories and she's on the, she's with the designers, she's with the sourcing team, she's with the merchants. And I know at NRF, like at the foundation dinner, she was celebrated. So that was super, super cool because she talked a little bit about her journey there.
Yeah. Well, it's
inspiring
possible to see. It is possible.
It is possible.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you see where Abercrombie was and where Abercrombie is nowadays.
What a turnaround.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Amazing. Well, let's talk about your book then.
Okay.
This is your second book.
It is the second book.
And I'm very happy to talk about it. The material life. Not the materialist life. The material life. What is this book about?
Well, let's take it a step back. The biggest challenge that the fashion industry faces, this challenge of overdevelopment. Overdevelopment happens at the start of the process and concept to market, all the way to after the assortment's locked. And innovating the process and really thinking about what products are going to resonate with your customer is about innovating that process. And that's what we talk about in the Material Life. We talk about the role of the CPO and how important it is. We talk about Fran's story as well, and why introducing more collaboration during concept to market is important, and how we can eliminate silos by doing that. And there are different forms of process innovation, but we're really focused on how product is made versus what is being made.
How this product is, like, what is a good process for a product to be made?
Let's think about Quince. We have Quince, we have Shein, Temu, Inditex doing very, very well in the market because they're able to get closer to market. And what they've innovated is their process around their supply chain. We probably don't agree with a lot of the sustainability factors around these brands, but fast fashion works because they're able to innovate their process, innovate their supply chain so that they can get closer to market, closer to when the customer actually wants to shop with the product that they want. That is the biggest difference with a brand that has innovated their process versus everyone else.
Yeah, that's why you say in the book that process innovation is more important than innovation.
It really is.
But shouldn't that be a discipline that everybody should be rethinking the process?
Yes.
Daily, like in the...
Of course they should. Yes, absolutely. We should always be innovating our process, but we need to innovate the foundation of our concept to market process, because that is what is fueling overdevelopment, excess inventory, eroded margins. And if we're not innovating the process, we are looking at stockouts at Sephora. We're looking at disconnects between strategy and execution on the shop floor. And we're looking at the time to market being just too long, right? Most brands take 52 weeks or longer to go from concept to market. So imagine right now, I'd be planning for a year or a year and a half from now. Footwear takes longer. And I mean, COVID was a great example. And I think we have beaten that example to death. But if we are so far away from market, it's impossible to react to what the customer actually wants. And that's why we need to innovate our process before we even think about anything else.
Yeah, I think like what is interesting about these brands, the fast fashion brands, is that it's almost like they produce on demand. They don't overproduce and they try to sell. They first test it out, it didn't work, but they also don't have the stores to ship it to. Like it's just a little bit unfair to compare with.
I think yes and no. Look at M&S's latest announcement, right? They're purposely announcing that they're adding fast fashion to their assortment. Now, Marks & Spencer has been in the business for decades, right? And they have a loyal customer base, but it's very hard for them to compete with these faster fashion brands that are able to get to market with product in 30 days. Inditex, Zara, goes from concept to market in 30 days. Shein is less. It's 25 days. Sometimes I think
I have a feeling
it's
like every 2 days.
Yeah. But going from ideation and design to having the product produced in the store, it's a very short timeline for these fast fashion brands. That's why they're able to compete and take market share from everyone else.
Yeah, you have to look into it, otherwise you're going to be swallowed by them. Yeah.
Yes. At least learn from them from a process perspective.
Yeah, you can pick what is useful for you and just live true to your brand.
Exactly.
Yeah. We talked about all the executive team to go to the stores, to walk around, see how things are, see why things are the way they are, talk to the people in the store. If you had to guess, how many... Like percentage-wise, how many retailers do that?
I think that's hard to answer. And I think it's nuanced because those that announce their visits and go in the stores for a photo op, they're not really walking in their customers' shoes. But those C-suites, the CEO, everyone, even the chief financial officer, everyone in the C-suite and below should be going undercover into the stores to really understand, what is my customer feeling? How is my staff reacting? Are they happy? Are they frustrated? Is the product assortment moving? How are customers shopping? And really shop the floor. Otherwise, it's a photo op. Right.
Yeah, so you kind of have to go as your customer and not as a C-suite. Otherwise, everybody's going to behave different. The shop's going to look different.
I've seen it. I have absolutely seen it. And I would frequently visit stores on weekends and go when I would be in a different country. I would go visit the store. And before I even talk to the staff, I'm watching, I'm learning, I'm capturing insights so that I can inform my buys for future, so that I can really see, okay, is my visual merchandising working, or is it a disaster until I officially go into the store?
And have you seen any brand doing this change? Like, our executive team started going to stores and then it changed. Like, what changed?
What changed when they went into the store?
Yeah, like when, let's say, like an executive team, they realized that they started going to the stores. Yeah. How did that change the business? What was the outcome?
Tremendously. Yeah. I mean, just from my own example, when I was at Ralph Lauren, when I was based in London, there was a store that was not doing so great. Part of John Lewis, but it's called Peter Jones. So it's still part of the John Lewis partnership, but a separate banner. And I lived down the road from there. So it was even easy. I had zero excuse not to go. I would be in there every weekend. And then during the week, when a new delivery dropped, I would just go on my way to work too. Because I spent time on the shop floor, I spent a few hours with my sales team. I was able to learn more from those visits on why a t-shirt, for example, where we had, and this is a true story, we had increased the length of the t-shirt to go below the elbow. It just stopped selling and we couldn't figure out why. And I would talk to the customers. I tried it on myself. I'm like, yeah, it looks fine to me. But then you'd hear customers talking about it. I would help customers in the fitting room and I would understand why it wasn't selling. And that's something you can't get from a spreadsheet.
Absolutely. It's not like just looking at data. No. You actually have to see it with your eyes.
Exactly. I've so many stories about this, even in the last 5 years working with clients and market leaders. We share and swap similar stories that, we didn't know why this product didn't work until we went on to the shop floor. We tried it on. We felt that, okay, there's something wrong with this. I understand why it's not selling. There's a lot of great technology out there that can give us this information, but unless you live it, you feel it, you breathe it, there's just nothing like it. There's no exception.
What is one thing that you say to a CEO? Like you can only say one thing to a CEO about this disconnection between strategy and execution.
This is going to be a run-on sentence. I would say that the number one thing that the C-suite, CEOs, chief merchants need to do is they need to really take a good look at their processes, especially from concept to market, because that's when we are creating product. We need to look at how we're creating that product, because if we want to think about technology and we want to start adding technology, fitting technology into outdated processes is never, ever going to work. And we have all lived it. We know it's true. And I would say that would be the number one thing that all brands need to take a look at is their concept to market process specifically, because it impacts the customer and it shows up on the shop floor.
Thank you so much, Liza. And for people that want to buy your book, where they should head to?
You can find it on Amazon. You can find it on routledge.com, which is our publisher. And you're going to start seeing it, I think, in the next week or so, actually, at a lot more of the business and retail schools. So really excited to have it in those libraries.
I'm happy to see that students are going to learn that.
Oh, yeah. We've got to start them young.
Liza, thank you so much. I'm very happy to be in Toronto with you, and I look forward to seeing you next.
I love this. My pleasure.